Um, the position function of a moving particle is, and this is the same type of question. Do you want me to kind of skip this one now? Let's do like the cube root, so it's a similar idea. I'm going to go on to 12 though, if you don't mind. Not everyone, two people came to me this morning and asked this question, so I want to take this one up. Okay. So it says determine the points on the curve y equals x squared, x cubed minus x squared, where the tangent is horizontal. Okay, this is a brilliant question. Okay. Can someone please be brave? Other than Amy. Amy, you're out. When it says, and the two people like, oh, this too. When the tangent is horizontal, what does that mean when the tangent is horizontal? Jeff? Slope equal to 0. So I'm going to say f prime of x should equal 0. That's what we're looking to solve here. Okay? And again, we're getting back into math, so we're into solving equations and all that fun stuff. Okay? Now this is going to look to me like it's going to be yucky. And I've solved it twice, and I think I have it down to a beautiful equation at this point. I solved it twice this morning. Okay? Where are we up to? Brendan, we're going to start with you. Okay? So let's start with this. So this is going to be a product rule with a lot of chain rules going on. Okay? So let's start with you. What's the derivative of x squared? Okay. Now for the messier part. What's the derivative of the second half going to be, please?
Plus 2
Yeah.
times x cubed plus x.
No. Somebody help me with that one thing. Yeah, 3x squared minus 1. Because remember, right? Because remember there's also the derivative inside. Now I know what you're saying. You're saying, yeah, Mr. Child, no problem. I'm a pro at math, which I'm sure you are. Okay, but I can't solve that equal to 0 yet. It's impossible for me to do. Christina or anybody else, what do I have to do to solve this equal to 0? What should I do? Oh, Christina's not in here today. Somebody else help her. What do I do to make this equal to 0? What do I need to do? I heard somebody whisper common factor, okay? I'm going to cheat before I do that, though. Before I common factor, I'm going to cheat. The reason I'm going to cheat is I see x's everywhere here, okay? I see an x cubed and I see an x. What can I take out of there? An x, but no, that's actually incorrect. I'm going to take out an x squared. Joe, why is it an x squared? Right on. So I'm going to call that 2x cubed and x squared minus 1. That x squared minus 1 makes me very happy as a math teacher. That's squared, sorry. That x squared minus 1 makes me very happy as a math teacher, and I'll show you why in a minute or two. Okay? Are we okay on where that happened, how that happened so far? Right, so again, yeah, go ahead. Okay, because you're factoring out an x from this, but there's two of them, right? So really it's like x cubed minus x, and x cubed minus x, right? So I'm taking an x from this one, an x from that one. Okay, right, there already was an x there. All right, now here's the other tricky part. As far as this one here, I'm going to take another x from here. So when you look at that, I end up with another 2x cubed. And actually, as I'm doing this question for the third time today, I made a mistake this morning. I went too early, okay? But I was very close to this morning. I made a small mistake. Okay, are we okay on where the 2x cubes are that came from there? It just makes it a lot easier to solve the roots here. Okay, now if you weren't here yesterday, that's okay. Amy will help you at this time. Cool, because we're going around the circle. I'm skipping Joe. I'm coming back to Joe after this, okay? Amy, what's the common factor for both of these now going to be? Okay, Joe, you're up now. If I take out a 2x cubed, x squared minus 1 from this, what am I left with? X squared minus 1, yeah? Okay. If I take out a 2x cubed, x squared minus 1 from this, what am I left with? X squared minus 1. Now I'm going to take a step back because this is powerful math happening here. Okay, like this is horribly awesome. So everyone's writing this down, that means that no one else did it like this except for me, which is okay. Okay, but the expectation is Michael would just say this is so important what's happening right now. Everything, he's really estimate all of that. Okay, I'm almost done, but not quite. Rebecca, can you simplify? You need to do two things for me right now. Can you factor this for me, and can you simplify this for me, please? Start with this, factor this for me. What does that turn into? 2x. Oh, no, but I'd be flowing it out. So factor this one instead. How do you factor x squared minus 1?
X plus 2.
Now, just before I continue, why am I making Rebecca, anybody here, why am I making Rebecca factor this? No, why per though? Why? Go ahead. I need roots because I'm looking to solve this equation equals to 0, right? So it's got a factor, right? Now, sorry, Rebecca, you're not done yet. Can you neaten this up for me? What does that turn into?
4x minus 2.
Yeah, 4x squared minus 2. I could probably neaten that up somehow. 2. Oh, okay. So 0 equals 4x cubed, x plus 1, x minus 1, and 2x squared. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way here and let everyone catch up here. That's right, this is powerful. This is my first good question we've had the entire year so far. Maybe not. Okay, going back to advanced functions now, Charlena, how am I going to solve for x? Yeah, right on. Okay, so I'm going to say here, I'm going to say x is 0. Here I'm going to say x is negative 1. Here I'm going to say x is equal to positive 1, and here I'm going to say 2x squared equals 1, so x squared equals 1 half, so x equals plus or minus 1 over root 2. Hopefully that matches the back of the book, I really hope it does. Now, no one wrote that on the board, but that's a horribly important question. That's probably my favorite one from last night's homework. Or maybe not. We'll see what 18 and 20 look like, but this one's a good one. You look like you're doubtful. Have I mentioned that you guys are a wonderful class? Have I told you that lately? I have. Let me be the first to tell you today. Did Mr. Curry tell you guys you were great today? So let me be the first person to tell you that you guys are great. Okay. We're up to 18. 18 says, determine the equations for the curve that at the points, the equation for the tangents. Okay. This is 18 we're doing. How are they related? Blah, 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 okay? Let's start with one of them and then I'll do the other one after, okay? Evan, we're going to start with you. When it says find the equation to the tangents, what's the first thing you need for a tangent line? Yeah, derivative, okay? And that's going to turn to what? What's the derivative of that going to be? No, but what, just in English, what's the derivative of function going to be at a point? What's the derivative? Okay, try again. What's f prime of a certain point? What's that going to give you? The slope at a certain point. Good. Okay. So you can, since you're eager to do derivatives, and that's wonderful. I'm going to call this f of x. Can you give me f prime of x here, please? Go ahead. I'm just going to write it like that, if that's okay. For everyone, okay? Just because that's nicer. Okay. Keep going. Now that is a messy derivative, but you gotta focus. If you focus when you're doing this, you can do it, right? Okay, it's a little bit tricky, no doubt. Okay, right, but you can focus it. All right, I'm going to rewrite this because you do not know how to simplify this yet. I will show you in today's lesson and tomorrow's how to simplify this in one step. All right, but you don't know how to do that yet, so I'm going to rewrite this as a fraction. All right, actually when I say me, I mean Jeff. Jeff, can you write these as fractions, please? Go ahead.
2x.
This doesn't change, I guess, right? Okay, that doesn't change, okay?
So that would be 1/2 x cubed over square root of 8x squared plus 1.
Okay.
Oh, so it would be 16x to the 4th, sorry, over that.
Yeah, over 2. So I'm going to do 16 over 2. I'm just going to call that 8x to the 4. So everyone see where Jeff and I got that, right? So 16 divided by 2 is 8. X cubed times x is x to the 4. And then divided by 8x squared plus 1 to the 1/2. Okay, now this is just good algebra. Okay, now I see one sharp look in the front row. So just be careful with what you're doing. Like all the numbers are being multiplied except for the square root. So x cubed times, sorry, 16x times x cubed is 16x to the 4th. Then times 1/2 is going to be 8x to the 4th. And then everything in the brackets gets divided by the denominator. Yes? Okay. Emily, now you get the pleasure of adding those two together. Should we do a common factor first?
You don't really need to, it's giving you the points.
Oh, do they? Darn it!
Just,
Michael, you're the good cop today, aren't you?
Thank you.
Fine then, Michael. Since Michael's the good cop, Emily, I want to find the slope at x equals 1. How do I do so? Can I not neaten this up for you guys to show you how to do it? Don't listen. Fine. No, Michael. I'll go with what Michael says. We'll listen to Michael today. So f prime of 1. It's going to be your slope at x equals 1. So it's going to be 3 times 1 squared times 8 times 1 squared plus 1 to the 1/2 plus 8 times 1 to the 4th all over 8 times 1 squared plus 1 to the 1/2. Okay, so I still have no 1 everywhere. Okay, after all that jazz, Emily, since Michael took away all the fun of this question, you don't have to calculate it for the class, please. Give me the right answer. Is that right? You sure with that? I got 3 times 3.
Oh, wait.
I think it's supposed to be 55.
All right. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So that should be f of 1 is going to be, f prime of 1 is going to be 35 over 3. Do we want the equations of the tangent? Just slow, too.
There's the equation.
Okay, I'll do the next one here just to speed up the process because I want to actually teach you if I can. F prime of -1 is going to be 3 times -1 squared times 8 times -1 squared plus 1 to the 1/2 plus 8 times -1 to the 4th all over 8 times -1 squared plus 1 to the 1/2, which conveniently is also 35 over 3. Now I did that in my head very, very quickly, the second one. The reason that is because everything's squared, right? So 1 and -1, again, it's everything's squared to the 4th. It's all going to balance out. Okay, let's make up an equation. Do we want the equations?
Now we need
Or you could just say they have the same slope.
They're the same slope. Can we just say they're parallel? Can I just say that? Can I say that? I can live with that? All the lines are going to be parallel. It'll work for every single time for this because everything's going to be an even power here, right? So it's all going to be the same thing. They will not have the same line intercept, so because if you have a cubed here, the plus and the minus will give you different answers, right? So it's not like they're going to be direct there. They're going to be parallel. Is it okay if I stop with that? Okay. You're not gonna be able to skip this, simplifying this too much longer. Okay, you skip it for right now, Michael, but I will get you eventually by the end of today's class. Okay. Number 20. It says, oh, this one is just you guys don't know what this means. Okay, that's all that's in this. Okay, number 20 says, and find d squared y over dx squared. D squared y over dy squared. Okay, the problem was that question wasn't written that neatly, and I just told her out of the textbook. Can someone translate what d squared y over dx squared actually means, other than Michael? Someone want to guess what d squared y over dx squared means? No one can guess? Okay, let's take a step back. What's dy by dx mean? It's a derivative. So someone want to guess what d squared y over dx squared means? Second derivative. Okay, so all they're asking for here, if this is f(x), they want f double prime of x. If f of x. And in the on the test, I'll be worried more. I'll list it like this so it's clear. So that's all they want you to do. I'm going to do this at 100 miles an hour. Okay. So f prime of x is 1/2 times 2x plus 1 to negative 1/2 times 2. So f prime of x is just equal to 2x plus 1 to the negative 1/2. F double prime of x is equal to negative 1/2 2x plus 1 to the negative 3 over 2 times 2. So f double prime of x is equal to negative 1 all over 2x plus 1 to the 3 over 2. Michael, do you agree with me on that? I think that's good. At 100 miles an hour. Now something like that should just be, yeah, you can do it, maybe not quite as fast as me, but if you add 10 seconds on your question, you should be able to do that without too much thing. The reason they just called it, use d squared y, would find the second derivative of that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pause the video then, I'll start with today's lesson. Okay, which is quotient rule. Actually, I'm going to take a drink of water.